Hi and welcome to the St John's Grammar Learning Early series. I'm Jodie Benvenist, a psychologist, parenting author and the Director of Parent Wellbeing. Last episode we talked about how you can be connected as a parent to the school and how you can connect with the teachers and the school in general and other parents. And this episode we're talking about the really fascinating topic of how children learn and how it's really changed since many of us went to school. Today I have Joanne, who is a Year 6 teacher. Hello. Alison, who is a Year 2 teacher, and Sue, who is from the Early Learning Centre. So, Joanne, we might start with you. How has teaching and learning changed since many of us went to school?
Oh, lots.
It has, hasn't it?
and it's really exciting, you know, and I think two really key changes that you can sort of identify really easily is that because of all the research about the brain, we can teach our children about the knowledge of the brain. How does the brain learn? And so we start off talking about the physical structure right from a really young age.
Yeah.
And our the children love it, don't they? They get so fascinated about their brain. And then on top of that, we talk about how their brain learns, you know, and we talk about that we're all different and that we learn in different ways. And that's actually really exciting because it gives them a language on how to think about themselves as learners.
Yeah, so it's not just about filling our kids' heads with facts and figures, is
That's
it?
right.
It's really different to that.
Hugely different.
Yeah.
And no, it's really exciting.
Yeah, and how does that work in the early years, Sue?
Yeah, well, I guess down our end, because we've got very active bodies, so we've got lots of hands-on engaging things. We actually want children to be engaged and build up that love of learning so that they're active and they're actually choosing work. So a lot of time goes into the prepared environment after observing children and their interests, so that then they can be almost leading their learning by accessing those sorts of things. And then we talk with them too a lot about the strengths and the habits of their learning. So, you know, being persistent, you know, and being able to see something through to the end rather than giving up, and talking about problem solving and just lots of those sorts of habits and awe and wonderment. We really want to engage them by being absolutely amazed by this world. So lots of real life opportunities and experiences and, you know, animals to look after and just giving them that independence in their learning.
That's great. And then Alison, how does it work when they're a little bit older, once they get to Year 2?
Yes, well, that follows on really nicely from the Early Learning Centre. So the junior primary classrooms are set up with, you know, 8 to 10 different learning areas, and they're based on the children's interests. And the children, once again, they're learning through exploration, through talking to each other, following their own investigations. So it's very self-directed, that period. But of course, in the junior primary area, we also have formalised teaching. And so what we're trying to achieve is the learning outcomes for those formal lessons, making the children aware of how they're practising those learning intentions in their own self-directed learning time, and so that there's a nice balance between what happens in the investigations and in the formal teaching, so that they're interconnected and related.
So children are still learning to read and write and maths and all those things. All those foundation skills are still there, but it's the way we're doing it that's a bit different.
That's right. And so they're practising in real, authentic situations. So, you know, if they're in a little shop, then they're practising all their reading and writing skills, they're practising all their maths. But for them, it's an authentic situation, and so the learning is much more real.
Yeah, and how and it's about learning about how to be a critical thinker, isn't it?
Absolutely, Jodie. So just what was Sue and Alison was saying, you know, giving them those really prepared, mindful environments to practice the different learning styles. And we talk about here at St John's teaching our students habits of mind. And what we talk about that is we talk about learning behaviours, how to actually be a learner. And to give an example, it's like Sue was saying, is that awe and wonder. It's about how to persist. It's how to be flexible in your thinking when something goes wrong. We talk about how to actually work together, interdependently, or then how can we actually concentrate and work by ourselves. And we teach our students how to reflect upon themselves as learners. What did I do well? What did I not do well? And I mean, when I was that age in the junior primary, I never reflected upon myself as a learner.
That never happened.
It was like, you do as the teacher says.
That's right.
And so empowering our students it's really exciting.
Yeah.
And I mean, we constantly have stories, really exciting stories about them taking on board their learning and understanding it and getting it.
And why do you think it's so important, Sue? Like, why are we doing this?
Well, I think, you know, if we'll be looking at children now who, in 20 years' time, who knows what jobs are going to be out there. So rather than actually giving them lots of facts about things, it's actually giving them the skills so that no matter what happens in their world, they'll be able to cope. So they will be the future problem solvers.
Yeah.
You know, all those sorts of things. And for us, with our 4 and 5-year-olds, it's independence. And we very much have that concept of, you know, we don't do for a child what they can do for themselves, because we're robbing them of those learning opportunities, and you know, and just kind of scaffold them with their problem solving. So getting them to think of another way rather than all just, you know,
being told.
That's right, exactly, and building on their resilience. So that, you know, things don't always go to plan, and so you have to be able to learn that too. That, you know, if I'm building that tower and it keeps on falling down, well, what am I going to have to do to, you know, to get what I need to be? So maybe a stronger foundation. And so it's opportunities and giving them confidence.
So it's a much more exciting time to be a teacher, isn't it? And also, and also to be a student. A learner. Absolutely.
Yeah. And we're learners too.
Yeah.
So everything that we're teaching our students, we're doing ourselves too.
Absolutely.
So that's amazing.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for joining me today. I think this is such a fascinating topic, because I think when many of us went to school, we were in those sort of classroom situations where we were fed information and facts and figures from our teachers, but now it's really turned the other way, and kids are being such active, engaged and very aware learners, and that's what's very exciting. And because, as we say, we're preparing kids for a world where they do need to be critical thinkers and creative thinkers, and so it's really exciting time to be in education. Next episode, we're actually going to be talking about how we as parents can support our kids to learn, and knowing how kids are learning these days, it's a great opportunity for us to be supporting their learning too. So I hope that you'll join us in the next episode so we can explore this a little bit more. Thank you for joining us.